It would go through like a series of circuits, and Mario Kart would be one of those circuits.
So that's just the well, you got to finish a beer before you finish a lap, right?
Before you finish like the whole race.
Oh, that's it? I thought it was a
Yeah,
beer.
so you do like a Grand Prix, which is like 4 or 5
Mhm.
races.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
So in the matter of 15 minutes, you have 5 drinks in you. And
You ever play the Double Dash version?
no.
The Double Dash. So you played Double,
Yeah.
right, on GameCube.
No, I haven't actually.
So Double Dash, it's like a 2v2, right? So one's passenger, one's the driver,
Hmm.
and the concept is
Ah,
the
skunked.
oh, is it?
It's only 8 months old.
That's fine.
Okay, I'll get over it.
It tastes the same to me.
I
Anyways,
started drinking. It's like it's not as sweet as it normally is.
that's the thing about not being into like beer is that I don't really notice when it tastes bad or not. I know what Coors tastes like just from experience, but
Yeah.
like outside of that, everything else I'm like, maybe it's an IPA or something.
Damn. Nothing like drinking in your parents' basement.
Yeah, 24 years of age and still working in my parents' basement.
We're a bunch of winners. Nice to meet you, Lieutenant.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you,
Sir,
doctor,
thank you.
doctor. Um,
It's official.
yeah,
Graduation was last week.
yeah. Luke is now a medical doctor. Uh,
No, not a medical doctor.
doctor, not a medical doctor, but doctor.
I'm a
Not a
doctor,
dentist.
not a
The
dentist.
doctor.
Same tier, maybe.
As a dentist?
Yeah,
Yeah, because dental was 3 years, right?
probably. Look it up.
So above a nurse,
Definitely, definitely.
above a nurse, below an MD,
Yeah,
dentist.
somewhere in the middle.
I think dentist is probably a.
How long is dentist school?
There's going to be some dentists that are not happy with that comparison, but I feel like
Oh,
dentists
it's
are.
wait.
Is it the same length?
Dental surgery is 4 years. Oh no, it's a 4-year program. Hmm. Damn, they're higher up than me. That's sad.
I guess that does make sense why they get mad when they're like called just dentists and not medical doctors.
Well, they're not medical doctors.
Yeah, yeah, but like when they're not when people don't call them doctor,
Yeah,
because technically they
I
are,
would get a
right?
little upset too.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, for me, I don't expect it, but
You should start expecting it.
dude, it's gonna be like the skit from The Hangover.
Oh yeah,
All my friends just make fun of me. I'm gonna start making like hotel reservations or dinner reservations, and it's gonna be Dr. Luke.
I feel like it's yeah. Like I don't think there's a good time to be called doctor, right? Like it. I think the only time you could be like called doctor is and not be super pretentious is like a practicing surgeon,
MD, yeah,
like MD, right?
yeah,
Because even if you're like a professor
yeah.
and you're like, oh, like it's doc, like it's one thing if you're like, oh yeah, I'm like doctor this, whatever, introducing yourself.
Hmm.
Like if you have your students refer to you as doctor,
Hmm.
like over like professor, for example.
Yeah,
Like I think professor and doctor,
different,
they're
different level.
like
Even if you have your
yeah,
doctorate.
like PhD is not an MD.
No, it takes
You can get a PhD in anything, right?
yes, but it takes longer.
Yeah, but like you're mostly just researching for someone else.
Or for yourself, or part of a team.
I don't know. I don't place PhD anywhere near MD. I think it's
P
doctor.
PhDs are more knowledgeable generally. So like there's like memes that since I'm in like the medical world where it's just like you're doing a presentation and then a PhD asks you a question and you begin to shake. You're just like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to
I
this.
mean, like I guess in their field, right? But like if we're talking like generally just like level of prestige,
Hmm.
mine goes like like medical doctor,
Hmm.
PhD depending on what
Yeah,
it's in,
yeah.
dentist, like
Everybody else,
everyone else,
every
everyone
other
else.
chiropractors,
PTs, PAs, eh,
chiropractors.
chiropractors are bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
I mean, I have heard it worse, but it's not.
I've got strong opinions.
I think you believe in it more than I do.
No,
Oh,
incorrect.
oh, because you said you wanted to do it though, with money.
Yeah, like as a bit.
Oh, I thought you were serious. You wanted to.
I could do like the what all the other influential chiropractors do. Just get a lady, strip them half naked, and crack their back, and that's their content.
I, I've never believed in it just because I heard it was like you can just get like a web degree, right? Just an online
Yeah,
certification.
so
And
like it's a most chiropractic schools are 2 years, and most schools aren't associated with any good universities. So
yeah, but
any school that has like a chiropractic school, it's not a school that you've
I'm
heard
not
of.
super accredited.
It's not an IU, it's not a Purdue, it's not a I mean they're accredited through their governing body, but like there's it's not that great.
Probably an online school.
Maybe potentially.
Nothing against online schooling.
Yeah. Shout out online schooling, saving everybody that can't travel. But chiropractors, the founding of it was rather interesting.
It's like Scientology,
Founded by a
right? Oh,
Scientologist.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I know it had some association.
He had this guy had the belief, I forget his name, but he had the belief that you could cure any wound or any illness by finding the secret nerve endings within the spine.
Mm.
And then he said you would have to sublux the spine, which is not something that you do. One, two, subluxing is like the medical terminology is like the um it's very similar to like a dislocation, but right before that. So it's just like the joint moves out of its capsule and then goes back in. So they're using the term incorrectly. And then they're saying that you can cure everything.
I mean, like,
That's what it was founded on, anyways. I think the science has changed, and there are really good chiropractors out there now that do a lot of like evidence-based practice. But um, depending on the school that you go to and how driven you are to better your profession, most chiropractors aren't. They're eh.
I mean, and it's generally, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I have had like relief, and I'm sure everyone has relief when they crack something or like have had relief going to a chiropractor, but it's all short term.
This
Like,
is why chiropractors are like wonderful because you can feel relief right away. And here's where you get into the business aspect of it. Um, you you pop a patient, you give them a couple cracks, a couple manipulations, they feel better for a day, 2 days, but then their pain comes right back. And so now you have this patient coming in one, two, 3 times a week forever because they don't actually fix the problem. They just give them temporary pain relief. It's a
so
good
that
it's a good business model. You have somebody come in, you pop them for 10 minutes, you get them out, charge them $50 and do that 3 times a week.
it's also
It's
why
infinite money.
it's like the pure polar opposite to PT because they're like, hey, do this thing and you'll feel better, and I'm like, I don't want to do that thing because I hurt, so I'm not gonna listen to you,
Yeah.
and then yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you know linking it to what we were saying about our culture's instant gratification.
Hmm.
It's a lot easier to have someone do something for you
Give
and you
me a
feel better
pill. Yeah, give me a pill. I'll feel better.
rather than being like, hey, you need to be responsible for your. I mean, like we've had the conversation about even guys like me who are very like our physique and our physical health matters a
Hmm.
lot to us.
Hmm.
I don't listen to a PT. I do the exercise. I'm like, the pain went away and I stop. Like, I
Yeah.
know I should keep doing it, but
Yeah.
it's not worth my time because I don't like the preventative side is boring.
It is boring, but it's needed, especially for long-term health.
Yeah. I mean, it's also hard being our age worrying about long-term health. I mean, like, we're starting to feel some aspect, like me and you both are starting to feel some aspects, just
Hmm.
the nature of lifting.
Hmm.
But like, when people tell me they're like, hey, it only gets worse, like, I'm sure it does, but I
Yeah,
have
a
no
part of you
possibility.
almost doesn't believe them. You're like, but you're not me.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
different.
gonna I'm gonna be better than you. I'm built different. Literally built different.
It is worrisome though when one of them will. I had one. This is not like really a physical thing, but someone at work, he came up to me, and he's probably 10 years older than me,
Hmm.
and he was like, "Hey, like you," I can't remember how it came up, but it was something about me eating really fast, right? I've always just gorged down food,
Hmm.
and he mentioned he was like, "Hey, like you like eat really fast, right?" He was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to do the same thing. I have acid reflux now, and I have had for the past 10, 15 years or whatever." And how old are you? I'm like, yeah, like I was 23 at the time. He's like, yeah, mine started at 24. And then like I started getting a little bit, and I was like, oh, okay.
It's beginning.
He okay, like what when they mention like a small thing leading up to when you can start to see the path you're going down,
Yeah.
that's when you can start to see like I'm in trouble.
This is the pipeline. I'm on the pipeline right now.
Yeah, it's just a dangerous spiral down.
Oh, devastating. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, getting old isn't fun. We're 25. We're not that old. but I'm starting to feel it in the knees and the back.
Yeah, the small.
It's never when I'm lifting. It's always when I'm doing something else.
Well, when you're lifting, that's what I always found. Like when I'm lifting, I feel great. Like all my injuries go away. But
Hmm.
I think it's just the caffeine just carrying me through. I mean, 'cause I remember when I was when I was in high school or I was legal drinking age. I was in high school. And we had like drank a lot the night before.
You were just an old high schooler.
Yeah, yeah, a really old high schooler, super senior, 3 years. And I remember, we were like drank the night before, went into the gym the day after, and I remember thinking like I was like lifting, I put a bunch of caffeine in me, hungover, and I was lifting, and I was like performing way better than I usually do. I was like, oh, like I don't hurt at all, I'm not sore.
Hmm.
And then I finished the workout, and I got home, and I hurt more than I'd ever had. Like it just like numbed like being in the gym, the caffeine had numbed everything that was under the surface.
Yeah.
Every single joint inflamed. Like I couldn't move my back for like I remember I was doing like rows.
Yeah.
I couldn't move my back for like a week. It was miserable.
Let the old man walk. You have to get up really slow, and then you're slouched over, and you're holding your back.
You notice I already do. I walk like the old men who hunch over. I
Yeah.
walk with my like, hands behind my back, not quite hunched over, but I walk like this like an old Chinese man. And I've noticed it's already starting. So
Is that just like out of habit? You're just like pondering the world with
yeah,
the
like
hands
I think
behind
it's
your
just
back.
I mean I was told the other day that I basically am like an 89-year-old man in a 24-year-old body. Like an old soul in some ways, personality, my outlook, my cynicism.
Yes, and an 80-year-old drinking a monster
Yeah,
and playing tons of video games.
I mean in some ways, in some ways I'm still the 24-year-old, but I think my rapid deterioration of youth and my gray outlook on the future has turned me into an old man
Mm,
at heart.
you're a pessimist.
I'm a pessimist
It's a
and
narcissist.
a narc, a narc as Johnny calls it. Leave in the comments if you've ever heard anyone call a narcissist a narc. Um, that will come into play later. Uh,
It's later.
narcissism
No.
will be as a little teaser
Mm.
for anyone who didn't read the title of the episode.
What's the title name? Do you have it cooked yet?
No, I usually cook it up afterwards. I
Yeah.
usually think of something clickbaity. I need to have like ChatGPT start work the titles.
We can hire ChatGPT as a part-time worker.
I mean, honestly, like it probably is at a functionality where we could start utilizing it, right? Or like make a short out of this. Make an
May-
interesting short.
Maybe? You're gonna have to pay for premium.
Oh yeah, but we can like put a transcript and we like make a transcript of this and then find an interesting part. Find a hot clickbaity.
Cancel out all of the problematic words. It just deletes the entire episode.
Yeah, we're gonna get real problematic in a little bit. Starting light though, a uh, a resurgence of an old hypothetical that used to get thrown around. See, a lot of people are presenting this one like it's new,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm talking about. Obviously, we
Yeah.
discussed before, but like this is an old hypothetical, right? Like all the group of some individuals fighting one thing, like a billion lions versus the sun, or things like that.
A billion lions versus all the Pokemon.
Yeah, like so we're talking about the recent resurgence of the 100 men versus a gorilla. Okay. Which I'm sure you've seen. Like it's the past few weeks, it's
It's
been
been on my
everything.
feed. It feels fake. It feels like there's like a psyop going on because like I was on Twitter one day and it was 10 posts in a row about the
It's everything.
yeah.
And I mean,
And now here we are to give our intellectual takes on it.
well, we're not going to pass up on a hot topic
No, never.
for the views, for
For
the tens and twenties of views.
for our glorious followers.
Get a little short out of it. So I guess I have a few. Oh, I just realized we're on video. Got showing off the feet for free.
Cover those bad boys up. You got
No
jacked
one
up
wants to
feet.
see the messed up
You
feet.
got jacked up feet
I should have worn socks. Um,
and pants.
and pants. I didn't know you were going to wear a collared shirt. I thought we were doing a chill couch podcast,
I'm a professional,
and you're
dude.
ready to go to church.
I'm a professional.
All right, so we'll start off with the
Got the
vanilla.
doctor fit on
Is that what you go to work in? Jeans.
on casual Fridays.
Mm. This is what I go to work in. So I'm in uniform right now, actually. Um, so we'll start off with the vanilla. question. 100 men versus a gorilla.
Yeah.
What's your take on the outcome?
Hmm. Okay. What's the scenario? Is it like 100 average people? Are we doing 50 guys,
I'd say
50 girls? Or is it 100 men?
100
100
men.
average is like
100 average men.
so what's
So,
average?
but like,
Average in
but
America is like
but but
196,
but
510.
we're not saying like we'll say a wide range, right? Like, but
Okay.
like the average is the average,
Okay.
just like the full bell curve, right? So like maybe you have like two or three guys who are like trained, who have some kind of combat.
Do we have
Like
any big boys in there?
you got, you got like one, maybe you got one like 300-pound football player, like big strong guy, but then you've also got a 300-pound larger dude who sedentary man. So yeah, let's say wide. So because I think if we were to say 100 just average shows,
Mhm,
like all the same, I
mhm.
think no chance. Where you get because the average guy probably maybe goes to maybe exercises
Here's
once
what the
or
gorilla
twice.
does if it's just a bunch of average dudes. The gorilla just picks two of them up and then just swings in a circle and
Yeah, and
knocks
just
out everybody.
helicopters everyone.
Yes.
But I
And
think
then once those people's arms fly off, it's he moves on to the next person.
I think I think if we're going the scenario where it's a bell curve, right? So you get some extremes, you get some fighters, some fit guys,
Yeah.
some guys with some level of strategic experience, but then you also have complete just like basically useless in the 100.
Okay.
So, what is your take on that scenario?
Ooh, that might change my topic or my opinion.
Because you've got maybe 10 to 15. I'd say in a population, you've probably got, let's say, at least 10, if not 15
Yeah.
guys that somewhat are fit
What's the
and maybe know how to
what's the
fight.
cost of this? Like if the people lose, does like the world end?
Yes, it's a Planet of the Apes.
It's
This is
planet
this is this is
okay.
this is a
Okay,
sentient.
this is King Monkey
Yeah,
and he's the last monkey.
no, he's the first.
Oh, he's the
He's the
first.
first of many.
You have to stop him before
Yeah,
it goes out
but,
of
but
control.
so he's got like the the apple from the Garden of Eden. He's got all the knowledge
This is
contained in his hand.
this is a Assassin's Creed plot.
Yeah, like it's this is Knights and Templars, and I never really played Assassin's Creed, but basically we have to stop him, otherwise all monkeys will begin to rise up.
Okay. Hmm. So the people are bloodthirsty. They need to take the
They're
monkey out.
aware this is a do or die.
Okay. So you got to think about like how are these people going to be doing damage? So I'm assuming that if you try to punch a monkey, you just hurt yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like I'd imagine even if you,
Their bone and muscle density is like out of this
I
world.
mean, yeah, I'm sure
It's
you
going to be
you
like
punch you punch a gorilla in the face, you're breaking your hand.
yeah.
So like
So bad idea. Don't do that.
so soft tissue. We're looking at that. I think that's part of the problem, right? Like
I think you could probably kick a gorilla.
I think the trained guys could.
I think the train guys, if we get a couple
I mean,
MMA
like
guys in
like
there,
you get guys like
stop that
us,
thing.
you get guys like us
Yeah,
kicking, like which we can kind of kick somewhat hard.
might be able to like.
I'm gonna shatter my ship on a gorilla still. My my leg is gonna just shatter.
Yeah, or he catches it in his mouth. Oh,
Yeah.
get your leg off.
Is it gorillas that eat people
No,
butt
the
first? That's bears.
spares.
Okay.
Gorillas are
They
herbivores.
just rip people apart.
Yeah, they're just having fun. They're having a good time.
So
So so let's think of like the win cons for the gorilla because I think if it's like people if they come in like groups of 10. So let's say it's just like you have like 100 people surrounding and they're just kind of like locked in a cage and 10 people approach the gorilla at the same time. Those 10 just like die immediately.
I think we lose 100%. Like if it's what a lot of people say, the scenarios
Yeah.
where it's like waves,
Uh-huh.
I think you just lose outright.
So yeah, waves lose.
I think it's got to be waves of like 30 to 50. It's got to be overwhelming numbers to where you can almost like crush the guy,
Yeah,
and like then everyone's kind of wailing on it. Like you get 10 dudes on his back like wailing on him,
breaking their
but
hands with every punch.
yeah, but like it's do or die,
Kind of like
right?
invincible. You're just punching, breaking your
Yeah.
own fist. Okay, I can see that.
I
Um,
think that is the only scenario though, right? Because if
so
it's like people say where it's like, oh, just like for the fun of it,
I've done some research. By
yeah.
research, I mean I scrolled through Twitter for more than 5 minutes, and from what I've seen from my gorilla analysis, whenever they have fights, the fights only last like 10 seconds. Like they don't have long fights, so you can make this an endurance game.
Which humans are
known for their
known for
endurance.
their endurance.
So what you do in this situation, if let's just say you're teleported in, so that like the people don't get any planning, right? Um, I think if you swarm the gorilla, I think the first 50 are just dead. And then after the first 50, I think the gorilla starts to get tired.
Is so the first 50, the strategy is it like, are they trying to evade, trying to tire him out, or is it kind of like you're just fodder,
There's
just
no
fodder
there's
down?
no game plan. You just know you gotta kill that gorilla.
You think the next 50 have
You've
a chance?
you've given one chance. Yeah. So like this goes back to the question of like what are the win cons for the humans? And I think the win cons are going to be um taking the gorilla down, placing just hundreds of pounds of people on each limb, and then just like either choking the gorilla out or like just kicking it in the head.
I mean, if you get like 10 dudes
Yeah.
on each of its limbs,
Yeah.
right? So like let's say out of the 50, you get 10 guys to
It's
go
two
after
thousand
each limb.
pounds. That's 2,000 pounds. Gorillas are strong. They're not that strong. On each limb.
Yeah, like I think I think that's the win con, right? Like but then there's the question of, strategy, all that. Like, do you have time
Yeah.
to plan? I think if it were like 100 trained people, 100%. I
Hmm.
think like no question. You drop 100, even just like amateur MMA like
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
100% they take out the gorilla.
You
But
get.
you're gonna lose probably at least 20, 30.
Yeah.
I'd say like that's a low
They have
estimate.
a training camp before the fight.
Yeah, like yeah,
they,
you get a camp,
they get an 8 week camp on gorilla takedown tactics.
But like I saw a video they were asking a bunch of MMA fighters
Yeah.
like on the 100 men versus gorilla thing. And there were like one or two of them was like, yeah, just me. No, just me, one guy.
So you need a couple people like that that just think they can take them one on one, tire the gorilla out.
One of them, I think it might have been Khabib.
Khabib?
Yeah, it might
Oh,
have been him.
the guy that wrestles
Yeah,
bears.
like I think it might have been him or someone that looked like him. But he was like, yeah, I shoot, I take down, and then someone was like, it's 600 pounds, and he was like, okay, maybe I inside trip. He was like, but he's like serious. He's like, yeah, like
He's
I
got the
I beat him.
confidence.
I
He's
beat
got the
him.
confidence. No, he's got all the technique in the world, but good luck.
Yeah, there's only so. What if you got okay? Let's
There's weight classes in MMA for a reason.
let's say you get 10 strongmen.
Okay.
Like
Like Brian Shaw,
we're talking
Eddie
Eddie
Hall.
Hall, Half Thor. We're talking like the 10 strongest guys, like 300 pounds each.
Yeah.
You think 10 of them?
Ooh, that's a better question
I
because
think
all of those guys are like 300 plus pounds, and I know they're like big guys, but they're athletic.
they're strong
They're
and fast.
they're strong, they're fast, they can move. A lot of their courses that they have to do is them like picking up a weight and like running or like holding a weight for a long time or
Mhm.
like yeah, they've got events where they like throw things as far as they can. They're athletes.
What do you think the lowest? Because I think 10 take it up. I think 10 we win. Right? Like you get 10
Yeah,
Eddie Halls or 10 Brian Shaws in
yeah,
there.
you get Thor, you get Eddie, you get Brian Shaw. That's like 1,000 pounds of mass right there.
What do you think? Five? You think five strong men have a chance?
We're getting close.
I think five is like the breaking point.
I think
Like
five's a
five
breaking
is like a
point.
luck, like a toss up at this
Yeah,
point.
because at that point you can put one on each arm and leg, and then some dude just standing over like kicking the
Just
face.
wailing him.
Assuming he's got like good shoes on. Got some heavy duty shit kickers.
Uh, okay. So we've narrowed it down to strong men. I got one more variant
Mhm.
on that before we move on. How many average men? So purely average men
Mhm.
with like a knife, the pocket knife.
Ooh, are these like good pocket knives?
Yeah, let's say
Is there
like,
is
like
there
let's say
is
like
there
a K bar.
is
Like
this
like a
like a
fixed blade.
50-50 on if it just like breaks on the skin?
No, it's like a fixed blade K bar, like 3.5 reinforced steel.
10?
10 average men, you think could do it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think they'd all die. I
I,
guess we
I,
I
I
guess we win the blood loss.
okay, here, yeah. If we win the blood loss, I think it's 5. I think 10 if you have a couple people survive at the end of
The
it.
survivor, yeah.
Because
It's
you have to
one.
get in close. And like those first 5 guys, they're gonna drop a knife in and then just get swatted away.
Yeah. I don't think there's any chance five guys survive.
Yeah. Unless they're strongmen. They
Eh,
weigh 400 pounds
five
apiece.
Eddie Halls with a knife.
That's the thing with like Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw. They've been training MMA recently.
Yeah, it's terrifying. the video of I mean obviously I think this is before they started really training,
Yeah.
but the video of Eddie Hall versus the two brothers
Oh yeah.
where like he like barely
He
claps one of them, like
yeah.
he like swats at one of them and he just goes limp and immediately goes
And
down.
then the other guy, he just picks him up and throws him down.
Yeah, like I those are scary dudes. Honestly, I would okay, here's a question for you. Would you rather be like you and two other guys? You
Yeah.
and two other guys versus a gorilla or like Eddie Hall with MMA training.
Ooh.
Because here's the thing, you're like one hit kills you anyways,
From the
right? Like,
gorilla?
well, both, I think. Eddie Hall with MMA training, you teach that guy how to throw a jab will knock you out. A
Yeah.
cross will kill you. A hook might knock your head clean off.
Okay, but we've seen him fight before. He knocks people out. Nobody's died to him yet.
He holds the video where he slams the guy down. You can
Yeah.
see him pause,
Yeah.
and he holds him like 2 inches above the ground before it drops him.
He's like, I don't want to kill this
If he
dude.
fully slams him, I think his spine just shattered. I think it's just jelly.
Axial load. Straight to the grave.
8,000 pounds of axial load.
You've an axial load, bro? Did you miss your axial load day?
What what do you think? A strong man, yeah, like Eddie Hall in his prime with MMA training, or just an average gorilla.
I think I would still take on Eddie Hall. I'd much rather take on Eddie Hall.
But you have to keep in mind one, the endurance, right? Because like I think humans by nature, and also a strong man,
Yeah,
endurance wins,
yeah.
right? And also two,
I just
strategy.
I think strategy with the three people and just a large person would be easier than a 600-pound gorilla. It has infinite strength.
I don't know. I was
I think I could hop on Eddie's back. I don't think he's flexible enough to get me
he
off.
lays down and you're dead.
I'll be fine. I'll survive. I'll keep my head up. Break a couple
There,
ribs, break my spine,
so I mean,
choke him out.
so I got a little. I mean, obviously, I really have super limited,
We also got to be careful with calling people out because Eddie Hall might
show up.
might show up.
Isn't he from like the UK? Or
He comes to the U.S. enough.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
He's going to hear us talking shit and then just
that's why I
go.
didn't mention Sean Strickland because he will pull. Sean Strickland will
Sean
absolutely
would
show up.
find our address.
Uh, well, because I had a little experience, just firsthand with when we were rolling on deployment. It was me and a buddy of mine, probably 150, but he's like he had some wrestling experience, a little jiu-jitsu,
Hmm.
and a guy who was probably 220, like actual wrestler, wrestled in college,
Hmm.
all that. And he was like, "Yeah, let's go 1-on-2." Right? Like we're just like you two try to take me down. He lasted for like 8 minutes against the
Yeah,
two of us, and like,
that's a college wrestler though.
but that's the thing.
That's his specialty.
But he lasted for 8 minutes. Like obviously he wasn't able to like take either of us out.
Yeah,
But like a college wrestler at 220 versus like a strongman MMA experience 300.
yeah.
Like
Eddie Hall does tire out though. Like on all of his fights, he's got really short rounds. They're like 3-minute
I
rounds.
just don't think he needs much to take you. Like I think I don't know.
I
It's a toss. I'm not saying I would take the gorilla outright.
no, I would be shitting my pants with the gorilla.
That's true. Maybe you have to hope that Eddie Hall has like some mercy in him or
Yeah,
humanity.
I think he will.
You have
He's
to
not gonna pick me up and throw me around like a plaything. What?
no, just picturing Eddie Hall just swinging us like
Like toddlers.
yeah. I mean that's always the crazy thing when people talk about like fighting or whatever.
How much does Eddie Hall weigh? Is he like 360?
I'd say that's probably a good bet, right?
So it's basically two of us. It's basically me and you combined is Eddie Hall.
362. Oh, Brian Shaw and Hathor were both 430.
430. Yeah. But they're tall. They're like 5'10" plus. Eddie Hall is like short. He's like 6 foot or like 6'1" or something like that.
Do you think a single Hathor with a knife has a chance against the gorilla?
No,
You don't think so?
no.
How about two?
Now we're talking.
All right, I think we've solved the debate.
It's over.
It's
Humans can
it's
find a way.
it's two waves of 50 or 10 strong men
Yeah,
or like five guys with a knife.
yeah. I like it. I
Yeah.
agree. My opinion originally was just like, yeah, gorilla wins. Then after my 5 minutes of research, I think gorillas get tired very quickly.
I think yeah, like and also the human aspect of like strategy and
Hmm. So that gorilla's probably only got like 10 throws in him, and maybe like 20 like strong punches
he's
before
got
he's
maybe two or three like head to groin rips, right? Like ripping off arms, maybe two or three,
well, you gotta
you know?
think because it's like since he's surrounded by people, if he's doing a big maneuver like that, other people are attacking him.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get like halfway through it, get annoyed with people like kicking him, and then like swing the person around like a baseball club.
Do you think you would like do you think gorillas feel fear in that
They
situation?
feel pain,
You think it's like you think they just lash out, they just get angrier?
like
They just see red. I just see red, bro.
probably, especially if it's like locked in a cage and it's got nowhere to go. It's not like it can run.
Mm,
It's fighting back, fight or flight.
that's true. It's do or die for both of us.
Yeah.
I guess if he has the apple from the Garden of Eden, though, I feel like he's got
Is it a talking gorilla?
yeah.
Oh,
He's
changes
he's
things.
trash talking the entire time.
That's terrifying. He does a big roar and then afterwards he just talks.
Can you imagine? He rips someone from head to
Do you know what my
toe.
goosebumps would be like? You've seen Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah,
When Caesar starts talking, goosebumps every time.
goosebumps.
That's a chimpanzee.
Full grown
Full
silverback.
grown, yeah, 600 pounds.
Things to ponder.
Think of the wonder. Yeah. Yeah. Humans win in the end.
Humans won. Mid diff.
Mid diff. No, have you seen Ashton Hall's morning routine?
I don't believe so. No.
No, you haven't seen like the giant attractive
Oh,
black
that's what
guy
his
that
name
has like
is.
yeah
Okay,
yeah
yeah,
yeah
yeah. I've seen that video, but I didn't know his name.
yeah
Was he
Ashton Hall. I don't know what he does. I know nothing about him. All I know is that he has a like ridiculous morning
the
routine.
one where he's got like the glass bottle of water
Yeah
and
yeah
he's
yeah
like dunking his head and everything?
yeah. Ice water and
Go for a swim.
he swims and he spends 5 minutes in the air. Have you seen that meme?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that dude. What are your thoughts on him? Natty or not?
Oh no, 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 no shot. No, I mean, one maybe like a 1%, like 1 to 5% chance. I think is it, and also I think that question's also hard because like yes, we have some experience with like seeing that and like seeing people who have said they're natty or like seeing natural lifters like Jeff Nippard who are like or like the just any of the top competitors.
Hmm.
There's some visual comparison you can make, but not having ever done it,
Hmm.
like it's hard to judge, right? Like me and you don't have any first-hand experience, so it's hard to be like,
And some people respond differently as well.
yeah, like
There's a lot of people walking around in the gym that are on steroids that we would have no clue.
so that's the thing. It's like there's always a possibility they are on steroids and they're just not that big. But I guess the question is the potential. And I think that guy is past the potential of
I think so too.
a reasonable natural
I
lifter.
think so too. He's too lean, too big.
Like Jeff Nippard, when you look at like
He's
him on stage, like he's a pretty big dude, but like
he just looks
for
like he looks like a normal guy
yeah,
when
like
he's up on
full
stage.
size wise, yeah, he's like a little bigger than us, but like
Yeah,
he's not that much bigger, right? Like
he's like 5'8", right?
yeah, he's also stubby.
Short king.
Short king, sorry.
Stubby.
Short God. Short God.
Jeff, we like your videos.
Yeah,
Why would you call him Stubby?
it's for the views. Think about like I mean like think about how popular that or how heated that thing where he got throat punch got.
Yeah.
If we could get a tenth of that
Well,
attention,
he's not gonna throat punch us. Jeff's a good guy.
guess we got to go on the
He might be more trained now. He might be more ready. So it's gonna take two of us.
yeah, not to fight him, just to try to throat punch him. That's what we're trying to do. We're not actually trying to swing at him, trying to choke him out. We're just like, I just need to get one good throat punch.
Yeah. Just a
He-
quick one in. Nice to meet you. Oh,
did you say he ended up in the hospital from
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Collapsed trachea. I don't know.
Oh,
I think he just couldn't breathe because he was punched in the throat.
yeah. Wild.
Like that's something you're not supposed to do with like an MMA either. You're not supposed to like just directly punch the
It's
throat.
literally just crushed their one pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not fair. Dirty fighting.
Dirty fighting. Especially just on just a dude who hasn't done anything.
Yeah, he was just calling you like I think how that whole situation went down is that Jeff Nippard was basically calling him out to some degree. I think like more casually, like on a either like a live stream or like a short of some kind.
And it wasn't even like accusing him of steroids or anything like super like personal. It was like, yeah, I think your training style or something like it was
It's
like a science-based thing where
yeah,
just like
he's just like it's not the most optimal, but if it works for you, it works for you.
that guy got like some people just it is hard because those are like 1 in 100. Like most of the big like I've said to everyone who's not experienced with the gym and
Hmm.
everyone who's been in the gym knows this. The biggest guys are like the most humble, like the most willing to help. Like they're all like every single big dude 3 times my size. Like
To a
I've asked
certain point, I don't trust people that have red skin.
that's I guess once they're like, but also I don't have much experience talking to like
White guys that have red skin from copious amounts of steroid use. Let me clarify.
I think it's like 1 to 5%, right? I'm just throwing out numbers because
Hmm.
we just like making up numbers here.
I'm good at
Um,
that. That's my
yeah, I
favorite.
know, I'm tracking. But
Well,
like,
I wonder how any of my research gets published.
do they know you just make up all your numbers in your papers?
Too late now.
You've
This is a
already
bit.
graduated.
This is a bit. My numbers are real.
Um, yeah, no, I think I don't know. I still think generally like big dudes always the most humble, like helpful
Yeah,
most of the time, and then but you get some bad apples.
some really bad apples. It's like the the neck tattoos with the red skin with like just veins 4 times the size of anybody else's veins. There's a certain stereotype.
Yeah,
They're bald
you know,
typically.
you know, you know
Yeah,
who we're talking about.
yeah. Me in 5 years.
Yeah, as soon as you have kids, it's toast. You're losing your hair and going right on the gear.
Hmm. Hmm. And since I can't take out my aggression on my family, I have to take it on out on strangers.
Look, children at the gym, just
Hmm.
yelling at them.
Hmm.
There was a guy at the Y, and we looked at him this morning that he was on gear and he had a little road rage incident. He got banned from the gym because
Oh,
he like tried to fight someone after he dunked on him.
dunked
So
on.
yeah, he got dunked on him. He got dunked on, and he just went wild, just went insane. So
Oh, boo-hoo. You got dunked on.
it's also so crazy when
Disrespect.
like the levels of disrespect that people will respond to.
Hmm.
Right? Like you guys that will respond to their training being called not optimal or like getting dunked on or something like, and it's just weird that, like I've said, I also my aggression is only on the road.
Hmm.
That's like the only time I like really get upset at things because
Hmm.
which I think is fair because there's far more risk to life when you're traveling at 50 miles an hour.
Hmm.
Um, but like, do you think our culture has gotten because there's like an argument for either side, right? You could say that our culture has gotten less argumentative, like people are less willing to like there's less violence going on, there's less like immediate response, like violent response to verbal um, confrontation.
Yeah.
I'd say like as a culture,
I think the risk of being recorded is higher. So like if someone's just calling you names and if you respond aggressively and someone has their camera on, the aggressor gets in trouble.
wasn't it? Was it Tyson or something? Someone that said like some people just haven't been punched in the face before, and it shows like I mean it's like the I might just be misquoting, but
So
like
I think the quote that you're thinking about is like everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
so I know that quote, but there
Okay.
was also a quote from someone that was like, yeah, like some people just need to be punched in the face because cause of like internet
Yeah, yeah, like
violence or
you walk through like if you walk through life and you haven't been like punched in the face or like I don't know, you haven't felt the consequences of your actions before. It's really humbling when you're just like, oh, this is the consequence. I can't just run my mouth for free.
I mean, say what you will about like Bradley Martin, like I'm sure you've seen that video where the kid influencer like grabs his hat off his head
Yeah.
and then he's like, hey, come here, come here. And he just smacks him and like the kid's like, oh, like you serious? Like what like you serious or whatever?
Yeah,
And like
because well, that I kind of get. It was like a trolley teenager type of person, and they're doing a collab. They're not really friends, and you have somebody just like picking on you.
that's what I'm saying. Is like I understand it, right?
Yeah,
I'm defending him in that scenario where I'm
yeah,
saying like the consequences of your actions. Like you can't just fully mess with people. Like
yeah,
to the point of you're basically harassing them to almost a violent level.
yeah.
and you get a little smack.
That was just a little warning. That was a warning shot.
Yeah, like it wasn't,
It was it was aggressive warning.
there was no, there was
He
no,
winded back on that shot. It wasn't just like a, give me that smack. It was
yeah, yeah, it was an open hand smack,
yeah.
but like I agree.
I think some people needs an open hand smack.
Well, so that's what I was saying is like, do you think that, I mean, obviously our culture is straight away from that, I think, in a way, where like the discipline level or like the consequences of your actions, I
Like,
think, have been tamped down. But
I'm
like,
I'm just very for me personally, and this might not be for anybody else, but like I worry about like the escalation of violence. So it's just like, okay, I slap somebody, they hit back, I hit back again, they pull out a knife, I die.
so I think that that seems like, even though like the response to violence, like you said, the fear of being filmed,
Hmm.
I think is has declined. I think the response and the escalation feels, and maybe it's a media bias, maybe it's just like how we
I
experience it,
see
but
those videos all the time where it's just like somebody starts something and then somebody gets shot or stabbed in response, and I'm like, well,
what's like I'll hear from guys that I work with, like mid 30s, 40s, whatever. They're like,
hmm
yeah, it used to be you could get in a bar fight,
hmm
you have a fight or whatever, then you guys go your separate ways. Like
yeah,
there's nothing like that. Like now it's like they're same guys, but yeah, like I mean, obviously me and you are also smart of just not and get into fights or seek out fights.
yeah,
Like they'll be like, yeah, like, we don't look at it anymore either. Like even if I was young, just because everyone now takes it personally, you pull out a knife, you start kicking people while they're like already out. Like
yeah,
there's a level of there's so much more ego associated with it now than I think before, where you're just like get like f fighting something out or just like kind
yeah,
of working through a little disagreement.
yeah. A little fist fight in a bar.
Yeah, but
No.
like,
So like I met a dude in Michigan when I was on a clinical rotation. I think it was like right before New Year's or something like that. But I was out and about with one of my friends, and I decided to just start talking to one of the dudes like sitting next to me at the bar. And he was just a talker, and he was talking about like how he got banned from a bar last week because he was in his mind like stopping a fight. But like when he was telling me the story, he was very much escalating the fight.
mm,
And so like him and this dude was getting they were getting in a scuffle at the bar, and then they took it outside, and it just escalated from there where like the dude like punched him, knocked him down, guy ended up on the floor, and then they just like parted ways. Like those people still exist out there where you can like get into a fight and move
it
on.
still exists, but I think there's that constant fear now might also be why I think we see less just immediate response of violence because everyone is tracking, like everyone's seen those videos of a
Mhm.
guy pull a gun, like in a guy starts a fight, gets hit, pulls a gun,
Yeah.
or like so. I think that's definitely had some kind of level of influence
Mhm.
on our like immediate response to violence, but I don't know. I think it has
Well,
made
like especially here in America where you don't know who has a gun. It could be anybody.
it's safer to assume they have a gun
Yeah.
here.
That's what I assume. I just assume everybody has a deadly weapon except for me. So I'm just going to be very nice to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is the whole a well-armed society to play society kind of thing, which I do. I know it's kind of thrown around jokingly,
Hmm.
but I do agree with in a sense. Like I think you can have your thoughts on it, but like
Yeah, like even the aura of like thinking that somebody is armed, even if they're not, is enough to deter most people from physical altercations.
I mean,
At
I
least
think
me, anyways. I don't know. Maybe I'm just scared. I'm just paranoid
no,
about being shot.
I think that's fair, and I think that maybe that's why like I wonder what the stats are on like road rage, for example, in different states.
Yeah.
I guarantee, like per capita, I guarantee it's lower in Indiana or Texas or North Carolina. So like I guarantee it's lower
Yeah.
there
What if
than it
somebody?
is
Yeah,
in Cal.
because you never know. Like if somebody's just having a really bad day, you cut them off in traffic. Boom, you get your tire shot out,
Yeah, like or you just get shot. Like I mean, the
or you get shot.
crazy here in I think it's been really bad in Texas. Like the road rage things were like, but like it's the aggressors that
Hmm.
are like shooting at people. But like it's absolutely wild. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we have a problem or a solution. We're just
Or stopping.
chatting.
Yeah, I don't want to get shot. That's my solution. That's my goal.
That, that's also why like
Put me in a situation where I'm not getting shot.
it's also why like even though I say I take out my aggression or like the only place I have aggression is the road,
Hmm.
I don't take it out, right? I never. them off in
No,
return or
you
whatever.
just yell at
I just
people.
yell at them from my car, just close windows,
They can't hear you. You're just getting really loud by
just
yourself.
just my dash cam. My dash cam incriminates me, but that's it.
It is funny because it's just like something like things that would never bother me or things that wouldn't like register on my radar, you notice. Like today we were driving in we were like in a parking lot and somebody would just like turn in front of us without like using a blinker. I would have just been like, whatever. But you had something to say.
They were driving on the opposite side of the road for like a good probably 20 feet.
Yeah.
They drove on the opposite side of the
It's like
road.
3 seconds.
Yeah, like 3 seconds, but then cut and then turned
And we're
right
going
past us without a blinker into the opposite side of the road.
and we're going a total of like 5 miles an hour.
It's just small things that like it's not things that like those things
Dave, you
aren't.
have a problem.
It's kind of like just do the right thing. I think it's like the shopping cart scenario, right? Where it's like even if no one's watching or even if there's no danger, it's not going to cause like
Hmm.
it doesn't really cause us any issues. We get to the restaurant 5 seconds later. It doesn't it's more about like the principle of it. I think that's my thing. It's like people doing the wrong thing. Like I'll tell people when if I'm in the passenger seat, they'll be like driving whatever, they'll take a turn and they take a hard turn and they're basically in the opposite lane going on. I'm like, dude, like if there was a car there and we didn't see it, you go straight into the front of that car.
Hmm.
Right. So it's like, I think it's more the principle of it. And some people just get lax. And that's my issue. Is some people get lax and that's when people die.
And what's their punishment?
From me,
Sure. Pull out
death.
the you pull out the gun.
Some people need to feel the consequences.
Their
I
actions.
I not condoning, not
You're
condoning that.
condoning violence right
Nope,
now.
nope,
That's
not
what I'm hearing.
condoning violence. On that note, you want to move to our test for today?
Let's move to our test.
All right. All right. So for today, we have a special little test. Are you on the
We'll do dark first.
all right. Which one are you? Open psychometrics? Is that the one you're on?
Yeah. Test. Yeah, I can. Wait, the open source. Oh, yeah, open psychometrics.
Okay. So we are taking the dark triad personality test. It is 27 statements. Um,
It measures the three traits of Machiavellism, narcissism, and psychopathy. Um,
so as explanation, obviously narcissism is belief in your own worth.
excessive self-love.
Um, psychopathy, lack of empathy, and then Machiavellianism, basically manipulative, like how manipulative you are,
Mhm.
um, in getting what you want. I did take this in high school, but I think, like we said, I was edgy and
What
extremist
did you
and
score in high school?
probably pretty high. I think I was
On
really
what?
high in
On
like
what? Because there's like three
for sure
subcategories.
Machiavellianism and
Uh,
narcissism.
uh, you're a narc.
All right. Is yours in the same order? Is it not wise to tell your secrets? Is that
Yeah,
your first one? All
yeah.
right. It's not wise to tell your secrets.
Uh,
Mhm.
a neutral? Depends on the secret.
Yeah, I think neutral. It's so situation dependent for me.
Yeah.
Maybe s-
People see me as a natural leader. It's personal.
I'd say slightly agree.
I
For
agree.
me.
I like to get revenge on authorities. Disagree.
Revenge is weird, right?
Revenge is strong.
Revenge is so emotionally driven.
Yeah, and on authorities, it's like, what did the authorities do to you?
Yeah, like
I disagree.
yeah.
I like to use clever manipulation to get my way. Um,
I'm definitely in the agree
you
category.
are because I've seen it.
I'm probably agree. I think like a probably
I
a
think you're a
strong agree.
firm
Yeah,
agree.
strong. What
Yeah,
about you?
I'm a neutral. I don't think I'm smart enough to manipulate people. I think that's what I realized.
I think so it's weird because I've always told people, right? Like whether it's really casual situations like uh social games like
Hmm.
Among Us, for example, or Werewolf. Um, I think like I'm good at it, but it's not something want. I want to do, right? Like I think
But you're good at it. You've got a natural skill.
it's one of the things where like you're naturally good at something and it scares people,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be good. That's not true. I
You
like
don't want to be good.
I
Quote of the day.
it's nice to be good at things and to
Yeah,
have a toolbox,
yeah.
but I try not to. Because my first this is gonna sound really bad. I was gonna say my first instinct is to be manipulative.
Yeah,
But I'd say my first instinct is to like play the situation how I want. Right? Like just to get everything in line with my
yeah. You're
vision of it.
yeah. You're running a bit.
Yeah, it's all a bit. It's all a bit. I think I'm a strongly agree.
I've seen it in action. Yeah.
It is a little fun.
Yeah. I'm a really bad liar, so I can't manipulate. I can't do it.
Well, I think the thing about manipulation is it's not about lying, right?
Oh,
It's like people say about telling a good lie,
yeah.
right? You want 90% truth
Okay.
to carry you through that last 10%. Because it's hard to make a just full lie. You know, people talk about getting caught in a web of lies,
Hmm.
but like manipulation is not like that's why I don't it's so easy to do for
Hmm.
me. Like even though I try not to, it's so easy because manipulation is pretty much just telling the truth except telling what you want, what you think they want to hear
The perspective of
and
what they
what
want to hear.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's telling the truth in a way that gets them to do what you want to do
Hmm.
or gets them to feel how you want to feel.
Yeah.
And I think so it's all about wordplay, which I think I'm good at,
Hmm.
but I don't think it's lying. I think there's a stark distinction between lying and manipulation.
Okay. I can see that. But I feel like you have to be a good liar to be a good manipulator, at least to some
I
degree,
think so, yeah. Like
or at least convince yourself of the truth.
I think that's the big thing. You have
Yeah.
to be able to convince yourself, and if you can believe it, like if you can believe you're doing this for the right reason,
Yeah.
you can make other people believe it.
Mm,
It's like so that's why I think it's a little bit different from lying. Because lying, I think inherently, if you're lying and you think you're a good liar, you know what you're saying is untrue, and you know what you're saying is like a falsehood.
hmm.
Whereas manipulation, you're like, I believe this fully, and now I'm gonna make you believe it as well.
Yeah. Okay. I see it. Next question. I hate being the center of attention.
I feel it's generally kind of neutral on this one, honestly, because
Okay.
there are situations like don't get me wrong, there are situations where like kind of enjoy the spotlight,
Hmm.
but there's plenty of times where it depends, right? If I'm with people I'm comfortable with, or
Yeah.
people like I like or something like, and I have something maybe new people and I like want to impress them or something. I think
Hmm.
there's this distinction with that, but with like people who just random strangers or something, I prefer to just blend in.
Blend in. Yeah, this is an interesting question because while I don't necessarily like it, I find myself in situations where I am the center of attention. So is it like a subconscious thing where I do like it, but I try to avoid it, but I still end up being the center of attention?
I mean, not to like cast aspersions or anything, but I
Okay.
feel like if you end up because I'm the same way,
Yeah.
right? Like I'll be like, oh, I'm not trying to, be the clown or something and attract attention. But I feel like if you end up as a center of attention, you probably did something like you've done something to
Yeah.
get there, and there might be some level of subconscious
Mm,
seeking of that. I think I'm neutral on this one. Like
okay.
I think it depends too heavily for me.
I'm gonna put slightly disagree just because I do find myself quite often as the center of attention without trying to be.
Okay, that's fair. I avoid dangerous situations.
I agree.
I strongly agree. And then going off of our not wanting to get shot.
Yeah. Whatever it takes, you must get the important people on your side. Slightly agree.
I guess it is. I mean, all of these are going to be situational dependent. I think I'm agree
Okay.
on this one, and obviously it comes into the manipulative area
Hmm.
because I think maybe not like at all costs, right? But it's one of those things where I think like just in general situations, like not even when you're trying to move ahead in the social ladder or like
Hmm.
trying to get a job or something. I think that there's so much benefit to being liked, right?
Hmm.
Like there is a huge benefit. Like I mean, it's the thing about being pretty, right? Like people who are attracted, whatever, like
Yeah.
they
You
naturally
have the privilege.
have that privilege is the most powerful privilege,
It's the pretty
the
privilege.
pretty privilege.
Prove me wrong.
But like we can talk about privileges next time. Actually, that'd be fun. But
We do a tier list.
yeah,
Tier list
yeah,
on privileges.
that's a spicy one. Um, but I think I'm a strong agree on this one. I think that it's not even from a non-manipulative, like really trying to reach a goal, I think that it's never a bad thing to have people like you,
Hmm.
even if like they're not, even if it's a more of a shallow kind of relationship. I think that the benefit to having people like you, whether it be in power or not,
Yeah,
I think is
it's good.
still
Yeah.
yeah.
And when it what this question is specifically getting after, it's like important people on your side, and that's important to you for whatever cause that you're trying to
Yeah.
prove. So I feel like it would be silly not to have the important people with you.
Yeah, like being on
And
in back races with
what's
your
your
boss.
definition of important? Important could just be a friend.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's for a
yeah,
friend or in a professional sense or whatever.
yeah. Many group activities tend to be dull without me. Disagree. I've got good friends, and they're always having fun. I get FOMO because my friends are so cool.
Yeah, I think many is weird. I could maybe say like some,
Yeah,
but like yeah, many no. I
I've got cool friends.
and I think me and you are good win more like amplifier catalyst kind of things to the group, but I don't
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think I'm
Yeah,
a necessity.
no. Payback needs to be quick and nasty. Disagree.
Disagree on
Yeah.
the quick. Sometimes it's a slow burn.
Sometimes it's a slow burn. It doesn't have to be quick and nasty.
Avoid direct conflict with others because they may be useful in the future.
Ooh. Um, this is implying that it would ruin the relationship if you have conflict with them.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a strong disagree. I'm at least a slightly disagree.
I think I'm a slightly disagree.
I think conflict is super important, and I think that it makes better
Yeah.
relationships for sure.
But under this question, it's saying like you will ties with the relationship. So I'm gonna put disagree.
Yeah.
I know that I am special because everyone keeps telling me so.
I think it's not because everyone keeps telling me so.
Yeah.
I don't like I believe in my merits and like
Hmm.
the values that I have,
Hmm.
but I don't need that validation from others
Yeah.
to like have that, right? Like, I think there's enough self-worth
Yeah.
and self-belief. So
Yeah.
like,
I think a lot of mine is intrinsic. I like when people give me external motivation, I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Thank you.
yeah, like it's a nice boost. Like someone in the gym, they're like, "Oh, like
Yeah.
you're looking good." Like it's a nice boost.
Hmm.
I already knew I looked good.
Yeah. Shut up.
I think I'm a slightly agree. Because I think for the sake of the question, I think it's asking if you think you're special. But I'm not going to put fully agree because it's not like
I know that
because
what it's saying. I know that I am special because everyone keeps telling me so. So
neutral.
yeah, that's probably a good
Yeah,
neutral, at least for me. People often say I'm out of control. Disagree.
disagree. Back in the day,
I'm too organized. It's wise to keep track of information that you can use against people later. How's your revenge, David? Got any revenge
I
plots
think
going?
so. I don't think it's bad to keep track of information, but like I think when people are like, "Oh, I'm going to hold on to this for later," even though
For a
I
harmful
can,
purpose?
yeah, even though I can and I'm capable of it,
Yeah.
I don't. This is one of those where like the manipulative side I don't believe in,
Hmm.
right? Because like I'm a stronger believer in I mean I'm sure other psychologists have said before. I know we always bring up Peterson, but like basically the thing about like holding on to grudges
Hmm.
and like how bad it is for relationships to bring up a previous dispute that you didn't bring up in the time. Right?
Yeah.
Like if you didn't bring it up in a timely manner, you're just being petty. And not only does it not help the conflict, it doesn't make you look good.
No, it
No,
makes you look bad.
you
It's
look
just,
terrible doing
yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, I've had conversations with specifically my sisters, not to call them out, but they're people that will like, I'll do something like probably wrong. Um, and I'll forget about it, and they'll do things that are wrong, and I'll forget about it, and then a couple months will go by, and they'll bring up I'll probably do something wrong again, and they'll bring up like you keep doing things wrong. You've done this, you've done this, you've done this, and I'm sitting there just like, what?
You've been just holding on to this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They've been holding on to it forever, and they've been wanting to tell me, and now they have a chance to tell me, and I'm like blindsided. I'm just like, you've done things wrong to me too, but I can't remember them because I Completely forgot what they were because I didn't care.
I think it can be shown too, like by I think how we acted as roommates.
Yeah.
Where like we never brought up like not in a vengeful manner. At least like things that we did in the past that annoyed us. We'd either bring it up in the moment or like it'd be a joke or something like
Yeah, it would turn into a joke more than anything.
yeah, like you left things in your room
Hmm.
or
Didn't do the dishes.
yeah, didn't do the dishes or like I left chicken sitting out or like it's or we didn't take the trash out or something. And like yeah, I think I'm a strong believer in if you're gonna bring it up now.
No.
Don't hold on to it.
So, disagree.
Disagree.
Okay.
Um, I like to get acquainted with important people. I-
Neutral.
Neutral.
I like to get acquainted to people that I like. It doesn't matter if they're important or not.
Yeah, if they're important and I don't like them, I don't really care to. Yeah,
Yeah. It's true that I can be mean to others.
I'm gonna just agree here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I kind of find it hard to be mean. Like it's kind of against my natural
I'd say
self.
you are generally not a mean person. Like
No.
I'd say that because it's not
Because
asking.
there's times where I need to be mean, and it takes a lot of effort for that to happen.
Yeah, I think it's more like because it's not asking if you like to be mean. I don't like to be mean,
Yeah,
but like I can be.
you can be. Yeah. It's hard for me to get mean. When I get mean, I'll like cry.
I'd say I would definitely from the outside looking in, I
Yeah.
would definitely say that's a disagree.
It's a disagree. No, it's funny because there are times where I've had to get mean or I've had to be like confrontational and it's like a bad confrontation and I have to be the bad guy. And I will like if it gets bad enough, I'll just start like crying. My body doesn't know how to react to being mean.
See, my issue is it's one of those things like the manipulation where like I'm I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Like that's why I try to avoid conflict. Honestly, I'm very conflict avoidant because I know I can like when if my anger takes over,
Hmm.
I'm really good at it's the manipulative side. I'm really good at saying things to hurt people.
Hmm.
So that's why I avoid it because like if I actually get angry, like like and I regret it. I fully regret it.
Something will slip out.
I've
You'll
had
be the
I
bad
mean
guy.
past relationships, whether friends or romantic relationships, gotten in an argument. I've said heinous things that I wish I could take back. But
Hmm.
like
You can't.
something, I'm too good at it in a bad way. Um, speaking of that, you could wait for the right time to get back at people. And we can discuss this.
Uh,
I think slightly disagree.
I'm just going to disagree. I feel like the right time is
Ben,
that
yeah,
moment, the
we'll
moment
get
when it
there in a second.
happens. I feel embarrassed if someone compliments me. I get shy. I get giddy.
I get shy, but do you think that's a trying to be like that's a no, no, I'm not saying it's faking humble, but like
No,
do you think it's more just like the attempt to be humble, or do you think it's actually like embarrassed? I feel like I don't get embarrassed.
I don't get embarrassed, but I do. I like it. I'm just like, "Ooh, this is a nice
Yeah,
surprise."
I think I disagree.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna put slightly disagree.
People people who mess with me always regret it.
I'm gonna put neutral. I don't think they. Yeah. What are you thinking? Let mess with you?
I'm trying to like envision either a past
The,
experience or like a
the people that
hypothetical.
mess with you are no longer in your life.
Yeah, I because I've got a habit of like I said, I'm pretty conflict avoidant. Like
Hmm.
unless it's like bad enough, I'd say if this were 5 years ago when I had my rage incidents and
Hmm.
talking to by authorities, I'd say strongly agree. I'd say slightly agree, like because I'm capable of it,
Hmm.
and oftentimes that's an instinct, but I try to tamp it down.
You try. You do your best. You try to be a good guy. There are things you should hide from other people because they don't need to know.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not.
I have been compared to famous people.
Been told I look like famous people.
I've
Does
been
that
told I
count?
look like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, but
That's racist.
yeah, well, that's the nature. That's the nature of my job. Um, compared to famous people,
Like
I s-
only in looks. I've never had anything else.
yeah, because like, because anyone. I don't measure up to famous people. Right? Like I think that's the thing. Is I know. Don't get me wrong. I have like a good level of self-worth. I think I'm worth something. I think I
Hmm.
bring value. But like for example, if you were to talk, like other people comparing me to famous people,
Yeah.
like let's just say famous people, like I'm gonna throw this out because my first thought was like, oh, does anyone compare? For example, like a guy like Johnny Kim. No one
Okay.
compares anyone
Yeah.
to Johnny Kim.
No.
He's him.
Yeah.
He's like, or like a guy like I'm trying to think of just intelligent people or business people. Like, yeah,
Warren Buffett, Elon Musk,
yeah, I'm gonna disagree. I'm
Bill
strong
Gates.
disagree.
Yeah. I have never gotten in trouble with the law.
I'm gonna strongly disagree.
Um,
Not bad, like not super bad things. Just like,
yeah.
are we considering speeding tickets?
I don't think that's getting in trouble with the law. It's like you breaking the law and then
You got
that's
in
it.
trouble though.
Uh,
What about like noise complaints?
being like a menace to
But
society.
like that's not even like a when we were in high school, like a downstairs neighbor called the cops on us because for a noise complaint.
Yeah. Never gotten into trouble with the law. I'm just gonna put slightly
Yeah,
disagree.
I'm gonna go slightly.
I don't think my one seatbelt violation is enough to warrant trouble with the law. Make sure your plans benefit you, not others. I disagree.
Disagree.
I have a bad habit of like making other people feel more comfortable than myself. I'm a people person at
I'm,
heart.
I think hmm, I'm between slightly disagree and neutral. Right? Like because the weird thing
I think
is,
you're
if
neutral.
it benefits people, if it benefits others, and if others I care about, then it benefits me.
Hmm.
Right? Like if
What
it,
about playing League with your friends?
I think I'm a neutral.
I think you're neutral.
Yeah, I'm an average person. Strongly disagree.
Disagree. Like, there's nothing. The average question is so weird because it's just like nobody's average.
No one's average. Well, one guy. There's one person that's average.
Yeah,
Do
average
you think there's one guy that's like the average?
probably. There has to be.
There has out of 8 billion.
Has to be.
Yeah,
Like what's average? It's for like guys. It's like in the United States, it's like 5'9", 190 pounds,
plenty of
IQ
those.
of 100. What else would make you average? Like average salary?
Yeah, I always think the salary was like first sign,
Yeah, making 55K a year,
like a kid having a kid.
having a kid, being married. Is yeah. I'm gonna disagree. I have none of
Let's see.
those.
How many people are married? Let's just say in the U.S.
Yeah.
because so oh, 50% of the adult population is married.
I,
So
it's like a more of a bimodal model where it's
yeah,
just like yes or no.
well 49. So less than 50%. It's 49.9%. It was an average. 49.9% of men and 46.5% of women were married.
So it's under the average.
Yeah. So
So we're average. Let's go.
I enjoy having relations of the physical kind with people I hardly know.
Disagree.
Disagree.
I'm oh, I was talking about this the other day. Oh, what is it? It's like a sexual belief. It's not asexual. It's
Aromantic?
no, not aromantic. There's like a sexuality where it's like I'm only attracted to people that I have an emotional connection with. It's not hetero. I think it starts with an H. Hemisexual?
Let's see what that means. 50%. Um,
No, it's a band. Demisexual. I think that's what it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a demisexual person, a sexual orientation where a person only experiences sexual attraction after forming an emotional connection with someone. I'm a I'm a demisexual, Dave.
I mean, like sexual attraction though, just like lust.
Yeah,
I think there's a capability for. I'd say I guess that there's a capability for lust for me, like as a human side, I think for people, but like there's no intent to, there's no desire to want, like
Yeah. Some people have that.
yeah,
I enjoy it. That's the question. It's like I enjoy having physical altercations in the loving way with people I hardly know.
yeah, that's not something I
Not for me.
enjoy.
Most people can be manipulated.
Agree.
Agree. We're all being manipulated. There's propaganda everywhere.
It's
It's just you choosing which propaganda you want to
yeah,
follow.
everyone's manipulated in some way. I insist on getting the respect I deserve.
Um,
S- I deserve. I'd say
Deserve.
at least slightly agree for me.
Yeah, I slightly agree. Because it's
Like
like
I don't insist on it. Like it doesn't matter. Like it.
because like if you insist on a respect that you don't deserve, then I would disagree.
Yeah, but like,
But like if you deserve some amount of respect, whether that be like your position or your authority or your
but I'm also
job.
able to like bite the bullet and be like, it doesn't matter to me that much. Like to
Yeah.
destroy a relationship over trying to get a base level respect.
Yeah, but like let's take like a work example. You have a higher ranking than other people that you work with, and so that ranking inherently means that the people that work under you deserve to give you some amount of respect, right?
I'd say so. I expect a certain level of like human respect,
Okay.
where like treat me like a
Treat
human
me like
being.
a
I
person.
don't care about like you said
And
the
we
rank.
all deserve that.
Yeah, I think like the rank thing
Yeah.
for me matters zero, right? Also like the nature of where I work
Yeah.
and like the people I work with, it's like rank doesn't matter
Yeah.
kind of deal. It's like it's a meritocracy purely.
Mhm.
So maybe I'm a slightly disagree, honestly, but like the respect you deserve, like we said, like the human respect of just like treating someone decently.
Yeah. What if that's my baseline? What if that's all I need is human
I'd say I'm
respect?
slightly agree. Yeah.
I'm just gonna put agree. I'll say anything to get what I want. Uh, I'm gonna put neutral here.
I'm between slightly and agree, just because the way the question is worded,
Yeah.
getting what you want, like I think my desires and my goals are,
I'm gonna work for those,
yeah, and like they're,
and I'll say some things maybe to get what I want, as long as it's ethical. Or
I,
like,
yeah, that's the thing. I think my desires, like as I'm matured, I think my desires are ethical.
yeah,
I'm not going to say anything to get things that I like, unethical things, because I
yeah,
don't want those things.
yeah. I'm
I'd say I strongly agree for me.
Get results. Let's go. Is it blocked behind a paywall? Oh, I'm a narcissist.
So, oh, it shows percentiles. Okay, so we can go if anyone wanted to take the test as well and compare. I know Aiden enjoys it. It's openpsychometrics.org. The dark triad, short dark triad. Um, so I'll reveal mine. My Machiavellianism was 3.2,
And it was 2.6,
narcissism 3.3,
3.4,
and psychopathy 2.
1.7.
So Machiavellianism, I was in the 64th percentile. So
Wait, how do you see percentiles?
it's right there. U.S. adults. That's the
Oh,
percentile.
okay, okay. Oh, so I'm in the 26th or 28th percentile.
So I'm a decent chunk above the average.
Yeah,
And obviously these are not really scientific, like it's
yeah.
survey based.
Narcissism, I'm a 76, so I'm
I'm
a decent chunk above.
I'm a 70th percentile,
Oh gosh, and
and I'm a
psychopathy.
44th percentile in psychopathy.
I'm a 26th percentile. Dang, I'm a narcissist, Dave.
So
Is it official?
here's the
Am I
question.
official
Do you
narcissist
think you're in the top 24% of US adults?
for narcissism?
No. Do you think you deserve to be? Do you think you, like the narcissism, do you think you are of more value than 76% of the population?
70, what's more value? What does that mean?
Do you think your life has more value than three-fourths of the population? Individually.
Individually?
Like you pick out an individual from that bottom 74%. So
No, I'd probably assume not. Why do you think that
Mine is only 70.
that's 76?
Yeah, so mine's a little easier
Why is yours easier?
because I have 6% less people I have to pick from. I I think I'm above average. I think that's for sure. I can say that I'm like more capable than the average person.
In terms of what?
Just more capable,
In terms of?
professionally, intellectually, physically.
Okay.
I think like those are like what I judge on.
Yeah. Maybe I am. Maybe I've got a bad view of self.
You need more narcissism in your life.
Mine's already way too high.
So
Oh,
these are from 1 to 5. So 2.5 is the average.
dang. Dang, I'm a narcissist. This has ruined my day.
Honestly, I didn't think my I feel like my psychopathy was higher when I used to take this.
Yeah.
I think my Machiavellianism has gone down a good chunk.
Yeah. I'm slightly above the average for Machiavellism. And really far above the average for narcissism. David, am I a secret narcissist? And I didn't
You're
know it.
not a secret narcissist. We're all
I'm a
tracking.
known
We're all
narcissist.
tracking.
Now our podcast members know. Damn.
Leave your results in
Leave
the
your
comments.
results. Let us know. I've got self-superiority, entitlement, dominance, and craving admiration and submission. Oh,
Do you want to, on a lighter note, do you want to take the light triad?
I do.
All
I,
right.
I want to feel good about myself.
Well, if you score low on this, it's not going to make you feel much better.
Okay.
IDR Labs. Is that
Yeah.
looks free?
Okay. So this is the light triad test. It tests for traits such as empathy, compassion, and altruism. So, first question, I can tell when others are sad, even if they're not.
Oh, yours is separate than mine.
Oh, hold up.
I'll just skip to yours.
Oh, okay. I can tell when others are sad, even if they have not said anything. Yes.
Yeah, I'd say strongly agree
Yeah.
on mine.
You can see it on their face. My next one is I am a soft-hearted person. I am. I'm a softie.
I'd say neutral.
Okay.
It, uh, no, I'd say agree. Slightly agree. I think
Okay.
like for people I care about,
Yeah.
yeah, because they've earned it.
Mhm.
For people that haven't, or like criminals and things like that, I think it's deserved.
Yeah.
So I'd say slightly agree.
My heart goes out to those who are unhappy. I'm gonna go neutral.
Yeah, 'cause some people,
Just put themselves there.
yeah, some people make no effort to
Yeah.
remove themselves from the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're trying, I have sympathy. But if you're not trying, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sometimes when people talk about their problems, I feel like I just don't care. Um, this is situation dependent. Like if somebody has like a new set of problems or something that's like fresh or like big going on, I feel really bad. But then if it's something that's been going on for a while and people haven't been making the attempts to better themselves or better their situation, I don't feel as bad.
yeah, and I think because I do have empathy even when it's like, for example, a small problem that I don't think would bother me, right? And
Yeah.
that I don't really view as a problem because everyone's problem is their biggest problem at the moment.
Hmm.
So I understand that, but yeah, it's the same as the last one where it's like if you're not working to fix it
Yeah.
and you're just complaining about it, like that's on you.
Yeah.
So
Like I can't feel bad for you if you don't feel bad for yourself.
maybe I'm neutral, or if all you're doing is feeling bad for yourself.
Yeah.
I think I'm neutral on that one.
I put slightly disagree. I instinctively tune in to other people's feelings. Yes. On every single personality test that I've ever taken, I'm a person with empathy. I'm an
Yeah,
empath.
yeah, strongly agree on that one.
I do feel bad.
Even though, like I said, I think part of it is because I'm good at manipulation. I think I like I so I think naturally I feel like there's got to be some kind of correlation. Like if you're good at manipulating people, I'm sure you have some, like
You can
you're
pick up on the signs.
yeah, like you know what to say to them.
Mhm. I put strongly agree.
Yeah, same.
I am good at mirroring the feelings of others. Mirroring the feelings?
I'd say slightly agree. Like if I make a real effort
Hmm.
to do it, I can. Or, but like sometimes, for example, if it's like I don't believe they should be feeling that way about something, or like
Hmm.
I think they're being illogical or well,
Ignorant.
sort of thing, or ignorant. Yeah, if they're being illogical or ignorant, I can't. I, I just slightly agree, right? Like I think it comes with empathy, right? I think just being
Yeah,
able to
I
do it.
can understand feelings, but like I don't typically mirror the feelings.
That's true. Maybe there's a level of detachment.
Hmm. Like I can put myself in their shoes, but like I can understand, but not every time and not frequently do I like mirror the feelings where I have like the same emotional reaction as they
Yeah.
would.
Okay. I'd say neutral then.
Yeah, I'm a neutral guy. Um, I prioritize being there for others in their times of difficulty. I strongly agree. I'm there. I show up. I make an appearance, especially if it's like requested of me. I'm definitely
If
there.
it's requested, for sure.
Yeah.
I think
If like somebody reaches out to me and they tell me they have issues going on, I make more of an effort to be present, whether that's through like phone calls or being in person.
that's true. I'm a strongly agree. It says for others.
Hmm.
Are we just assuming it's others we care about?
No, more like even people like in the workplace. Like let's say there's an incident, there's somebody that's going through a hard time, and you do what you can
Yeah,
with like
with
socially,
your
like
current relationship.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, strongly agree on that one.
Helping others out by doing good deeds is its own reward. I agree. I feel good when I help others.
Yeah. I really wish this wasn't grim.
Yeah, I'm a big volunteer guy.
Um, yeah, I'd say so. It's its own reward.
Um, people I am, yeah, people I'm with have a strong influence on my mood. Yeah, I agree. Like if someone's low down, like I can be as positive as I can, but I'm not going to be as positive as I was before the interaction. And if I'm with happy people, they tend to uplift me as
Yeah.
well. I'm gonna put slightly agree.
I'd say strongly agree.
Yeah.
If someone pisses me off, it's a strong
I
uh
like how I went with like, oh
influence.
yeah, people that are like sad or people that are like happy, and you go with pissed off. When they piss me off, it's over for them.
Yeah, that shows where mind states are at.
Mm. I donate to charity and or help the homeless people who cross my path in the street. Um, well, this is not something I do now because I don't have funds. This is something I can see myself doing in the future. I do feel bad because when there are homeless people around or people in worse off positions, I don't have the assets to help them out typically.
It's one of those things where like the to help people you need power.
Hmm.
Right? Like you can only help people from a position of power
Hmm.
or influence, right? Like or monetary influence. And like well, I think it's a hard one because I don't think it makes you it's like the old um Bible story, right? Where it's like the old lady with a single coin gives it and
Hmm.
her entire like does it make you more charitable? Like if you have more to give, if you have the ability
Hmm.
to, like I don't know if I
Like
don't
you definitely have more of an impact.
yeah, like I mean like for example, Bill Gates, right? And like
Hmm.
the Gates Foundation, whatever it is, right? Like I know that I don't know all the initiatives, but I know they do a lot of like charity work, a lot
Yeah.
of like outreach. It's like, and don't get me wrong, it's like I think it's good work and all that, but like they could do all of that and still live better lives than most people.
Hmm.
Whereas like if you don't have the capability to do that, I don't think it makes you a less charitable person. If you're given 50% of your wealth and you still have more wealth than 99% of the rest of the world,
Yeah.
I don't believe it makes you more charitable. There's people out there that obviously wouldn't give any of that. There's
Yeah,
people that don't,
yeah.
but like I don't know. I think I'm a
But you have a greater impact on the people around you. So like even if you still have more money than what you know what to do with, even after you donate, your donation specifically in the Gates Foundation, they've done more good by donating their money
than most people
than
have.
I will probably in my entire life
Right. And
on like a large scale.
no, that's fair. And I think from an absolute influence standpoint and like an absolute good they've done, like quantifiably, yes, they have. But like, and I'm not like belittling those charitable contributions or like people's
Mhm.
acts, but
But
also keep in mind that if if I had $1 billion and you were like, if I had how much is it worth?
um,
Well, half of that now because
80 bill. Bill has 80 bills.
it's worth 107 billion. If I had $100 billion
Yeah,
and you were like, hey, like, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give 50 billion of it away to help
yeah,
people, like, I still have more money than I could spend in a lifetime,
yeah,
in 10 lifetimes.
yeah.
Is that really that commendable?
That's not the question though.
Yeah, I know we got a little strict. I'm just saying that this is obviously a cynical stance on it.
Are you coming from the Bible point of view where you're like you're a better person if you donate more, even if you can't afford it?
I think you're a better person if you like the lady was like that was her only coin or whatever.
Hmm.
Obviously I'm butchering it, but it was like she has one coin, she donated it,
Hmm.
whereas the rich guy donated 100, but he still got 1,000.
Yeah,
Where like it's like I don't think it. I guess the question of good and evil. I mean, we've explored it before, but from keep rehashing it, it's kind of it's a parallel, not obviously analogous to like the question where we had like if you don't have evil instincts and you don't act on them, are you better than someone who
yeah,
has evil instincts doesn't act on them, right?
yeah.
And I think that those are the criteria that like if you do charitable things because you have the ability to, that doesn't inherently mean you're more charitable and a better person than people who don't have the ability to.
No.
There's plenty of people who don't have the ability that wouldn't, even if they were,
Mm.
even if they did. But
But it definitely makes them better than the millionaires and billionaires that don't donate at all.
yeah, 100%. All right. I'd
I
say
think giving back to any degree is good.
I'd say slightly disagree on this one, just because I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna put neutral because I do have stories of like times that I have helped out people even when I didn't have the funds. Like here recently, I took a train up to Chicago for St. Patty's Day, and there was a dude just sitting there, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, I don't have any cash right now. I'm not gonna bother you if you say no, but like, can you like buy a ticket for the next train?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" It was like $7 or something like that. I've got $7 laying around, and I bought him a ticket. He said thank you, and then he went on his way. So it's like like in certain situations I will, but more often than not, I'm not equipped to give
I've
things to
given
people.
money to a homeless guy before. Like
Yeah.
it's not like out of my realm, but like it's
I'm just gonna put neutral because it's like it's not something I do every time. It's not something that it's something I do quite infrequently, but I'm not against it. In fact, I wish I did it more, but I most of the time don't have the capability to do so.
no.
So neutral for me. I often help others without expecting anything in return. Um, well, this is weird. 'Cause I like all I really need is like a thank you. Is that is that
I don't
expecting
think
something in
that's
return?
I don't think that's expecting something. I think because it's like a base level of gratitude, right? Like
Yeah,
I think expecting them to not be ungrateful
yeah,
is a fair
yeah,
expectation. Like
yeah.
that's a fair neutral. Like for example, if you help someone, like for example, I helped someone move in Rhode Island or something, right? Like, 'cause like I was the only one with a truck, so they were like, "Hey, like, can you help us move a bunch of stuff?" And I
Hmm.
helped them out. They're like, "All right, cool, thank you." And I was like, I didn't expect like money or anything, but if it was like a hot day, I was like, it'd been nice to like hand me a bottle of water or something. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
some like the base level of gratitude.
yeah,
I I don't think so. Maybe it's neutral to slightly agree,
yeah.
just because like I do expect like you to be a decent person.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm gonna put strongly agree. I have more instances in my life where I've just been donating my time to help out others, and I do it because I think it's fun, and oftentimes like I don't get anything in return other than thank you, which is very much appreciated, and that's all I really need.
Yeah, like the thank you,
Yeah,
right?
the thank
Like
you.
the
Like, hey, thank you guys for coming out. We really appreciate everything that you did. Perfect.
I think the gratitude is what I expect.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think that's unfair.
No, I don't think that's unfair either. I'm gonna put strongly
Okay,
agree.
slightly.
Uh, I often think people should be more considerate before they say and do things that may be offensive to others. Um, yeah, I tend to lean more on the considerate side because I never know what people are going through on any given day. And so even if they're not treating me with the most respect, kill them with kindness. They probably need it.
I think I'm gonna strongly agree on this one. Like, I don't think it's like you should not say the things like if you consider, but like you should consider it.
Yeah.
You should think through what you're saying.
Yeah. Don't just let your brain fire off the meanest thing possible.
Yeah.
Maybe have the filter. That's probably a good thing. Generally speaking, I'd rather buy myself a little something extra than donate to charity. Um,
I mean, we're both frugal guys. That's the
yeah,
thing. Is like we don't really spend money on things just because we have the money.
yeah.
I I mean, I typically buy like I'll buy something nice, but like it'll be something that I'm going to
Here,
use. Like,
here's the nicest thing I bought for myself recently, and you're gonna find this funny. I bought queso today with the Mexican meal, and that's probably like the nicest thing that I bought for myself in like many, many months. I don't get extras with food. I typically order water. I get the cheap item on the menu. I'm just frugal, but I really wanted queso today, and I didn't donate to charity today. So
I think I'm saying slightly agree.
yeah, um, yeah. I often have tender, concerned feelings for people who are less fortunate than me. Yeah, all the time. Because I know that I'm lucky and I've been put in a very fortunate position to succeed and um, do the things that I do. Um, and I wouldn't be in the position where I'm at if I hadn't gotten either like lucky or fortunate or um, I don't know, had an amazing family like I do. And I do feel bad that don't have to people that have like worse situations than me.
Yeah, I agree. There's a level of, I mean, we've talked plenty of times about our level of privilege and how like I'm not going to apologize for it,
Yeah.
but like
I can
I
recognize that
acknowledge
I
it.
have it, and
Yeah.
I feel bad for people that don't have, and like I'm purposely going into a field to give back to people,
Mhm.
um, and I feel like that's all I can do, or I'm doing the best that I can to give back.
I mean, I always talk about like how I've brought this up many times. Like a lot of people will talk about, you know, the jokes about my feet being jacked up or
Hmm.
like my eyes being jacked up, whatever. But like I'm always said I'm like I'm beyond grateful and like I feel really bad for people that like have genetic diseases, like a
Hmm.
legitimate, you know,
Yeah.
like neurological issue. Like I
Oh yeah.
yeah.
There's nothing more soul crushing than walking into like a pediatric clinic, and you're seeing children that just have like cerebral palsy or like severe intellectual disabilities or just other sort of disability that you may see. And because it's really hard because you know those children are they're not going to have the quote unquote normal life. They can still live like a decent life if they have like the right support around them, but their life is
Not as
undoubtedly
full as
it's harder.
yeah.
Full is interesting because like the perception of full is going to be different from one person to another. But it's definitely going to be different, and it's not going to be deemed normal by our standards.
There are limits.
Yeah.
So yeah, strongly agree.
But yeah, there's nothing more heartbreaking than that. And that's why I'm not going to do peds because I think I would just be heartbroken all of the time.
Yeah, like
I would be
those
so sad all of the. And shout out to anybody that works in peds and can manage through and help those kids because
yeah,
it's tough.
like those videos they'll have with
Those
like um what was it, Peyton Manning Hospital or whatever. There'll
yeah,
be like hospitals that are just like kids with like
like
going through
severe form.
chemo and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I'm like, oh my
yeah.
God. Like
Or like kids, like infants with like congenital heart defects and they're having to have multiple surgeries before the age of like 1 month.
yeah.
That's talk about soul crushing.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
Moving on.
I am more competitive than cooperative. Oh, I'm gonna put disagree here. Um, I'm not like intrinsically I'm rather competitive, but like I'm more for like the fun of the game,
Yeah.
like with the other people.
I
And
think like everything
like
like
and I'm not gonna be like the person that like if like uh, an example that's coming to mind is like say like casual sand volleyball with like some of my classmates. If somebody's like doing really bad, I'm not just like yelling at them. I'm just like, okay, we'll do better next time. We'll get the next one. I'll like purposely like set up shots so that they can like have a good moment after
Mhm.
a bad one.
Yeah, even in areas that I think I'm like generally I excel, at least for like how I view like
Yeah.
the gym, for example. Right? It's like yeah, there's like a casual level of competitiveness, like oh, like I want to improve, but like I am way happier seeing like the level of um accomplishment I get
Yeah.
for me hitting a lift or hitting a certain like weight or like something or like aesthetic look
Hmm.
versus someone I'm training
Hmm.
or someone I'm helping out like hit a lift or like push beyond their limits like that is it's incomparable. Right? Like
Mm.
I think the yeah the seeing others achieve I think is far more
It's more satisfying.
satisfying. No, yeah, I'm a strongly disagree on this one.
Yeah. I often have tender, concerned feelings for people who are less fortunate. Oh yeah, I think I already answered. Oh, I
Press
pressed
back.
back. There is probably something wrong with people who take the time to help others without expecting anything in return. No,
No,
disagree.
a lot of these are about helping people out without expecting things in return, huh?
It's that altruism.
Yeah.
I generally, okay. I generally do not have time for people's sob stories. Um,
Sob stories, though.
okay.
Like, sob story feels
Well,
like it's a,
what's a definition of a sob story?
I feel like a sob story is more just like seeking pity or seeking,
Sob story. I'm gonna Google it. A story or explanation intended to make someone feel sympathy for the person relating it. Um, yeah. So like the purpose is to make you feel emotional in some way. And that could be good or bad. I'm gonna be neutral here. Some people's sob stories are important to like characterize what they're going through,
mhm,
and some other people they just want to make you feel bad for their
yeah.
lives.
I'd say neutral is a good.
Yeah, it depends. I hear a lot of stories. Part of my job is just listening to people talk about things that have happened to them, and I feel bad for those people. And then there's other times where people are just like really down on themselves, and I'm just like, no, get out of your funk. You're better than this.
And it goes back to the, are you doing something
Yeah,
about it?
yeah.
You know?
Next. If I see someone going through a difficult time, I try to be there for that person. This is very similar to the question we had before.
I feel
Yes.
like it's the exact same.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the same score, which is agree. I don't really see why I should help others unless there's something in it for me.
Are you clicking the same questions?
These are the same questions, just said differently.
Sorry, can you say it again?
Yeah. I don't really see why I should help others unless there's something in it for me.
Uh, yeah, disagree.
Yeah. Oh, I pressed back. Next. Other people's emotions are their problem, not mine. Ooh.
I mean,
Um, Yeah, so like to some degree it is their problem and I can be there to help them through their problem, but at the end of the day it is their issue, right?
yeah, I think that
Because no amount of like me talking to them or
trying to fix their problem.
trying to fix their problem is going to fix their problem. It's going to be up to that person and if they're wanting to change or if they're wanting to take your advice.
And I think the way it words it too, emotions, like
Yeah,
someone's attitude towards something, that's on them.
yeah,
Right? Like, and I truly do. I always hated the saying as a kid when they were like, "Oh, the attitude, your attitude is the only thing you can control."
yeah,
But like as I matured, I'm like, that's so true that
yeah,
like it really is the literally the only thing in life you can control how
yeah,
you act
yeah.
after.
It's how you perceive. Well, it's the process of perceiving and then what you do afterwards.
Yeah,
Um, I'm gonna put slightly
I
agree,
put strongly.
just because like while it is their problem inherently, I can be a part of that process to some degree.
It says not the, it doesn't say the problem though. It says their emotions.
Yeah, other people's emotions are their problem,
Yeah, I guess slightly.
and like I can do my best to offer solutions to their problem, but it's up to that person to fix
Actually
their
implement it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a kind-hearted person who is almost always intent on cooperation. I agree. I'm a big group guy.
I agree.
I wasn't in college. I kind of hated group things in college, but now that I've been on clinical rotations and eventually entering the workforce, you get so much more done if you just have good people around you.
Well,
It's
college is inherently set up purely competitive,
yeah,
like class rankings, GPA, all that. Like
yeah.
it's competing for jobs.
Hmm.
Like when you're in a position where you can't afford, it's, I mean, it kind of goes back to the charity thing. When you can't afford to like, or there's a limited amount of outcomes and
Hmm.
a limited amount of jobs and everything, you have to kind of look out for number one in a way. But like, if I can, I'm not competitive for the sake of or for the sake of being competitive,
Hmm.
basically. Yeah.
So I strongly agree. When others feel sad, I am there for them, right in the midst of their sadness. Um, yeah, I don't. When others feel sad, I'm there for them. Yeah, I agree. In the midst of their sadness.
Is that the when others are feeling troubled, I usually let someone else attend? Oh, it's
No,
different.
when others feel sad. Sorry, David's having to click through because our schedule is different.
Um, Slightly.
Yeah,
It still is situationally dependent
yeah, I agree.
on whether they're working on it.
Okay, last but not least. Oh wait. Wait, we got two more. When others are feeling troubled, I usually let someone else attend to them. Um, I'm gonna slightly disagree. I'll be there to some degree, but if I'm not the right person for the job, then I won't be there fully.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like it's not all, and also yeah, some people just need different things. Like I don't.
Yeah, some people need their parents, and I'm not their parents, or some people need like specific friends, and I'm not
Yeah,
that specific friend. I'm gonna do what I am comfortable with. I'm gonna do what I think is necessary, and I'm not gonna try to overstep any boundaries.
yeah, because I think that there's a level of that that comes with like some people like most of this test is about
Yeah.
helping out just to get something out of it,
Hmm.
and what they want out of it may be just gratitude,
Hmm.
but like it's more about the person than it is about feeling good about yourself.
Yeah. So slightly disagree for me.
Yep.
Last one. I often think that people should make more of an effort to be kind-hearted and respect one another. Yeah, I
Yeah.
strongly agree. Love your neighbor.
Yeah.
I think yeah, what you were saying earlier is that your attitude is the only thing that you can control, and I feel like being kind-hearted and having like an uplifting attitude is something that you can control to some degree. Um, and you people should be nicer to each other
Yeah. I mean, I think that,
because you never know what people's stories are, and you can't really judge a book by its cover. And um, yeah, so you never know how bad a person is feeling or doing or how hard their life has been. So it shouldn't be on you to make it any worse. That would be kind of like an evil act.
yeah, I think that also just the level of like respect. I mean, I was very, this was my Sigma male grind set kind of like
Yeah,
stance. I was like, oh, respect is like,
it's
it's
earned, not
earned, not
given.
given kind
Yeah,
of thing,
yeah.
right? Respect is earned, not given. But then like, there is a level of like just like
Base human respect.
base human respect, and also like, I can't remember where I saw this or who said it, but it was something about like actually extending respect to people and like just some people truly just are not worth the respect, right? Some
Yeah.
people don't deserve it. They'll run with it. They'll
Yeah.
take you for a ride, but I think we'd all be better off if we had some level of base respect.
I agree. I let's see results.
I'm at 78% on all four. So all three categories as well as the average.
Okay.
So slightly
I
above average.
I'm slightly above average for everything. I've got a 75% for empathy, 88 for compassion, 88 for altruism, and 84, oh, 84 is my average. Okay.
So I've got slightly more empathy, slightly less compassion and altruism.
Hmm.
But it makes me 15.76%
Let's go.
more than the average person.
Let's go.
What's your composite?
21.76
Oh, look at you.
lighter than the average person. Oh,
It's a skin color.
it is a skin color thing. Skin color difference. Man, I love that I have more empathy, more compassion, more altruism than the average, and then also more narcissistic than the average.
Yeah, so you're better than
I'm just better.
everyone.
I'm better than
I'm
everyone.
better. I'm smarter. I'm better.
Stronger, faster.
I'm better than you.
So let's do, okay. So we went through these tests. What's your conclusion?
I mean, I think obviously these tests, like everyone's reckoning, they're all so swingy, like the political compass one we took, just because
Hmm.
the wording, the situation, like you can't
Yeah,
really
there's no
really have,
there's no nuance behind a lot of it.
yeah, but I think it's fair. I mean, I honestly I don't know if I rate as high as it rated me on like altruism, for example, or like I think I'm about the average on the good traits.
Yeah,
I think like if we're talking the dark traits, I do think yeah, my Machiavellianism, like I'm able to manipulate, like the narcissism, yeah,
yeah.
I do think I'm better than the average person.
Ooh,
Like
I've got a question for you, Dave. Never mind. Finish your thought.
I was just saying like, but I don't think that based on this test, I don't think I'm more than the average.
Yeah,
Maybe I am, and my view of people is more positive than
that it
it
has
should
been in the
be,
past.
and maybe I'm viewing other people as more giving and light than I should have.
Dude,
But
this pod, I'm gonna love this podcast so much just because we have like video evidence of you in undergrad when you were more just like cynical and you were less human
I
centered.
was less human.
You were just less human overall.
I think that would have been a really good because I'm not going to go out on a limb and say like I used to 5 years ago that I'm not going to change as a person and I'm who I am for the rest of my life
Because yeah, yeah,
because I definitely have changed and I will change. But I think that a lot of these more human like maturity things,
yeah,
I don't think I'm gonna backtrack or like maybe go much further. I think a lot of these answers
yeah.
are more thought out. I think there's a lot more time and experience
There's a
into
lot more
them.
life in it as well.
Yeah.
You've lived more life. You have more experience. You're not just in an academic setting.
Yeah, I think having experienced the academic side and then the working side and the real world a
Yeah,
little bit, I think I am a little more solidified than where I'd be. But
Dave becoming human.
becoming human, they've become human. I I don't know. I think this is a pretty fair placement of where I am. I think honestly, like I said, I think I'm surprised that it says I'm higher than the average on compassion and things like that.
Yeah,
But I think that I don't think there's any. I mean, as you can see, because we did the dark triad and also talked through our answers to the little compass, there's no
yeah,
like fronting on our part. There's
yeah.
no like,
We're giving
yeah,
rationale.
yeah, and we're not virtue signaling on this. Like we're not,
Maybe we are. Who knows? Maybe I am. Maybe I just want to come off
maybe
as the
you are.
best person
I've been pretty.
ever.
Well, your narcissism shows that.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I think I've been pretty open about like my tendencies
It
to
is,
be able to
it is
manipulate.
very weird because it's like I often like will think of like, okay, what should I say here? And like, what do I actually believe? And when those things like line up, I get confused because I'm just like, am I just saying this because it's the right thing, or do I actually believe this? Like deep down.
I think that that was what I was wrestling with on a few of the questions that I
Yeah.
mentioned to you, where I was like, I think that I'm good at this thing, this
Yeah.
bad thing,
Yeah.
but I try not to be, and I try to do the good thing.
Hmm.
Like, so what does that actually make my answer? Like, what
Yeah.
is the there's a definitely a level of cognitive dissonance, like I'm gonna just bring up again, like when you have the capability or the capacity to do bad and you
Hmm.
try not to.
Hmm.
I think there is a level of cognitive dissonance. Like, do I really believe this? Like, am
Hmm.
I? But I think if your logic side wins out, or I think your logic side beating your emotional animal tendencies,
Hmm.
I feel like that is who you are.
Hmm.
That's human. I think like I don't think that animalistic side, just because you have those tendencies, makes you believe those bad things.
Yeah. I think there's also said something to be said about like actions and actions that you've done. Because like I've noticed in my life, I've done what seems to be like good things for like the community and the school and like people that I'm around. But then I don't necessarily always feel that way about myself. But then I'm like shown time and time again, like, oh, you're doing these good things, and it's shown here. And sometimes I feel like I'm maybe putting up a front. I don't know. It's weird,
I mean, I think I don't know. I think it's hard for you because you have less bad tendencies than I do.
generally. Yeah.
I think
I feel like that's a fair assessment.
honestly, like this is not me trying to be edgy and saying anything, but I think it's a fair assessment that I have a tendency to sway more towards the vengeful, the harm causing side, like
Hmm.
the manipulation.
Hmm.
It's because I'm good at it and it worked for me in the past.
Yeah.
And it's
And it's gonna work for you in the future.
well, it's like any like crimes, right? You get like,
Yeah.
it's like if you get away with it and you're better off,
Yeah.
like what your your instinct is like, I'm just gonna keep doing it.
But keep doing it. Yeah.
Like I and
And you run on a slippery slope and you eventually get caught.
yeah, I mean, yeah, all criminals end up getting caught. But I, I don't know. It's hard because I think I've been I'm not saying you're not self-aware or like you don't have that introspection, but I think because I've wrestled so much with my like
Mhm.
darker instincts and my
Mhm.
like animalistic behavior, I think I'm able to like make that distinction of like
Yeah.
what I actually believe now
Mhm.
and what I've been able to like work out of myself
Mhm.
versus these intrusive thoughts in
Mhm.
the back of my head, which
Yeah.
I think might be harder for you because it might be your instinct is to, help others like avoid that conflict,
Mhm.
not say the mean thing.
Mhm.
So if you do have to do it or you do have these bad things pop up, it's harder to wrestle with.
So, yeah. Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, it's just confusing.
We're all confused.
We're all
That's
confused.
the
That's
conclusion. We're just
yeah. It's just
confused.
like yeah. I don't know. My biggest fear, and this is probably like one of those irrational fears that like somebody out of a crowd somewhere, someone that I don't know or do know, is just gonna like call me out on like y- and basically just say you're not a good person. Everything that you've done is like a lie. You've been lying to yourself. And like I have like a deep fear of like somebody just like calling me on my bullshit that doesn't exist.
And I
And
think,
it's like somebody can like read deeper into me. And I'm just like, maybe there's something deep down that I don't even know. Some
but
darkness
but I
that's
think
propelling
that's
something.
either it's a symptom or it's like a result of being able to see it. But like I
Mhm.
think that there is a um like using your hypothetical there, if someone were to call me out,
Yeah.
I'm very at terms with the evil I can do
Yeah.
and the harm I can cause.
Yeah.
So we're like, if someone's like, yeah, you're actually not, you've done this or something, I'm like, yeah, like I know I'm not a great person at heart. Like
Hmm.
I know I am able to and sometimes try to cause harm.
Hmm.
I'm like, I try to be better. And so basically all in all, it's like, I definitely feel for you
Yeah.
in your situation because I've been able to come to terms more with like I've seen the harm I've caused.
Hmm.
I've seen the people I've hurt
Hmm.
and I've been able to work through it and rationalize and like get rid of that dissonance and be like I can be not as good a person as I want at heart,
Hmm.
but also act virtuously.
Hmm.
Whereas it's harder when like you're wondering about like
I'm wondering about the bad that I
'cause
can
I don't
truly do.
because obviously, we've both lived lives and like we've both gone through a lot of things, but like I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm able to see. I think I've hurt more people than you.
That's probably
I
fair.
think I've hurt more people than you.
That's
And
probably fair.
and
Yeah.
like so I've seen the depths of like what I can do to people
Yeah.
and like what I have done and have wanted to do in the past.
Okay.
Because I've looked into that abyss into myself, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, now let's figure out if you're gonna be this person or not.
Hmm.
Whereas you, it's much harder to work through like, am I bad? Like,
Yeah.
am I covering
Yeah.
something
There's
up?
a couple like situations in my life where like I have done undoubtedly just like bad things, and like I felt gross and disgusting and not like a great person. But and yeah, and I wonder if that's like part of me, if I have the capability of doing that more than what I've done in the past. And I'm wondering if like I'm just like, covering up and I'm being good, or I try to be good to cover up the deep bad that's inside.
As someone who has the deep bad and
Deep bad.
deep bad
Yeah.
and like the those dark
Yeah.
tendencies, I I think I'm gonna say, at least for me, you'd know.
Okay.
You would know. My first instinct a lot of times, like honestly, it has changed. Like
Hmm.
those have gone away a lot since I've my actions have basically translated into my instincts
Hmm.
in a good way. Um, but when I was younger and like especially like late high school, things like that, my first instinct was to like do harm.
Hmm.
I was like, I just want to hurt people. Like,
You were a
it was like
monster.
it was like
You were a gremlin.
there was that joke. It was like the term hurt people,"
Yeah.
and someone was like, I just hear two commands when I hear hurt people, and like so like I can say at least, and like it may be different for you,
Yeah.
and there may be something you still have to wrestle with, but
Yeah.
I can say with certainty that I'm not like covering anything up
Hmm.
because, or I'd make a guess that you're not actually really covering up like some deep darkness
No.
because you'd know. Like those are things that like for someone like me who it comes naturally to,
Hmm.
it's there.
It's there.
It's always there.
Yeah.
Those instincts to like the Dark Triad thing was saying, hold on to ammunition or bring up the past or
Yeah.
like try to say whatever you want to hurt this person.
Hmm.
I always have those instincts.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have seen in like the earlier arguments we used to have in college.
You had receipts.
Yeah, like I had receipts. I knew how to structure the. I knew how to beat someone publicly.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
you
I
did.
knew how to. Honestly, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really liked embarrassing people
Yeah,
publicly.
I remember like calling you out on something and you had like the receipts. I could just see like there would be a smile on your face. It would be like almost an evil smile that would be across your face because you knew that you were just going to destroy me in whatever debate that we were having.
Yeah, and I think that um yeah, so basically all in all what I'm saying is I'm gonna say you're not covering up
No,
those
yeah,
dark
I
things.
don't think I truly am either. It's just a weird concern and a weird fear that I have for, and there's not really that much justification for it. Um, maybe I have high expectations for myself,
Mm.
and when I fall short of those expectations, I don't know, I become my own worst critic, and I pinpoint the worst aspects of myself.
There is a genuine benefit. I think I think I've come I mean some people don't make it out the other side.
Hmm.
I think I've come out of it much better as a
Yeah.
person because I'm more self-aware. I've done that introspection on
Hmm.
the bad things I've done. There is something you said about the privilege that I've had to be able to work through that in myself.
Hmm. So
Because
not
like
everybody has that privilege
yeah,
or the
not
time or the effort
yeah,
or
like
care enough to do it either.
yeah, like some people have never dealing with the consequences of your actions. I've dealt with the consequences of the people I've hurt.
Hmm.
Not to me because I didn't have emotions at the time, but I was like that guy looks like he's having a bad time, and like and I was so like seeing the consequences of my actions benefited me in that way. Um, but yeah, like not everyone makes it out of there, but I think that um, not to bring up Peterson for the 30th time this
You're
podcast,
doing it.
but like the the capacity for evil, right? Like the you should know your capacity for evil. You should know you should good men have the ability,
Hmm.
or good men have the capacity for evil. They
Hmm.
just choose not to exert it, right?
Hmm.
Like I do believe that. Where it's like if you're, I'm not saying I'm not saying people are bad people because they don't have the capacity,
Hmm.
but you're left in a state of limbo, more like wondering
Hmm.
a little bit. Like you were saying, it's kind of like always a question, like if it were to come down to it, what would I actually do? Like in a life or death, this is like I have to make a bad decision.
Yeah.
What's my first instinct? What do I want to do?
Yeah.
Right. So it's harder to work through that, I think.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
yeah,
Anything
you got
else?
no. I think that's pretty good. This has been a long one. Once I cut out the pee breaks, it'll be like a 2 hour podcast.
Oh my gosh, 2 hours?
Yeah,
Half of that was just quiz taking?
maybe we found a cheat code.
Uh-oh. We've got infinite time wasters.
Infinite. We're gonna do BuzzFeed quizzes next time.
Oh
Find
gosh.
out which
Which Harry
Ghostbuster you
Yeah,
are.
find out which Harry Potter character you are, what house you're in.
I think that'd be fun. Sprinkle those in
Yeah, every now and again.
every now and
I
then.
think for next time though, if we do this in the future, we keep it to one quiz.
Yeah,
It got long.
it did get long. I thought the light one was gonna be a little faster, but
I did too. No.
it's fine. Thank you for listening all the way through. If you have,
We appreciate your support. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad, for listening to every episode.
thank you to those I've hurt for making me a better person. Leave your results in the comments below so people can shame you,
Mhm.
Aiden. Um,
But yeah, this was Illogically Ignorant. We'll see you guys next time.